Chapter 33: The Semi-Working Artist. Best-selling artists matter, and Joshua was determined to become one. If his creative writing flair and over-the-top salesmanship was used to help his doodle dad hero kosher cheesesteak truck, then he could die a contented, semi-working artist success. Growing up in Edgemont, New York, Joshua never had any artist role models to emulate, except Judy Cook, a striking, tall, elder statesman of the alternative school within Edgemont High School, which she envisioned, created it from the ground up out of nothing, while challenging the status quo, which is what great artists do, offering a liberal arts school within a school, having written evaluations specifying developing skills and needed areas of improvement, versus issuing standardized, stuck-in-time, immovable grade lettering, which never would have offered information directions such as Joshua being capable of becoming a great leader if he was only willing to embrace more responsibility, or Joshua being a sweet, funny, intelligent boy who had no reason to hide who he was in the first place. The alternative school was all about choice. You chose to apply to the program and were accepted or not on a case-by-case basis. You still took your standardized math and science courses in the regular high school, but within the alternative school, you chose what humanity and history classes to take, which were liberal arts leaning, like Holocaust history, which wouldn't be possible in certain London public school these days out of fear of offending the Holocaust denier Muslim immigrant population, because inclusive diversity is fake news bullshit in Bean Breath Town after all. Joshua hates to admit it, but he was caught dozing during a talk in class from an actual Holocaust survivor deep into his senior slump year. He had no justifiable defense for such a blatant sign of disrespect, on par with Ricky Gervais as the Golden Globes host, mocking all the past award-winning Holocaust films, while stating in so many words, "Your entire race almost got exterminated. You've been to one Holocaust memorial, you've been to them all. Get over it already. Or you're no better than the alt-right, who never got over Hitler's master plan becoming complete." Back to Judy Cook, founder of the alternative school, Joshua's guiding light, who encouraged Joshua to pursue a career in comedy his senior year in high school, once he started to emerge as an occasional funny man under his socially restrictive, past-shy hiding shell, thanks to finally hooking up with a couple of Israeli girls on a kibbutz during his Masada teen tour in Israel, turning their collective faces into sloppy wet mops. Before Judy Cook, no teacher of any impressive, kick-ass, funny woman stature had ever taken a personalized interest in Joshua's future, let alone articulated an artistic vision he was capable of fulfilling. Now at 43 years old, Joshua's mother was telling him about Googling his old elementary school bud, who graduated with a degree in fine arts before becoming a Unix administrator somewhere in Southern Cal. But hey, at least Joshua's mother remembers he used to place Unix network administrators for a living when he used to work as a journeyman IT agency recruiter, who made a living off exploiting the billable brainpower of others, who on a deeper level as a whole resented his parasitical base existence, driving Joshua to become a semi-employable, skilled master comedy writer creator himself one day. Over the phone, Joshua's mother says, "Was Jesse the only artist you knew growing up?" Joshua replies, "Besides myself, Mom, and outside of Judy Cook, the founder and fearless kick-ass leader of the alternative school, responsible for me moving out of my nervous, plagued, shy shell, who encouraged me to become more than a garbage man, Ma?" That's correct. Judy encouraged me to shoot for more than shit. Mom says, "I never told you to become a garbage man. It was just a figure of speech I used when I was urging you to do something to provide more for your family already. And I wouldn't call yourself an artist, son." Joshua says, "Artists extrapolate beauty and create universality, whether it's through painting, sculpture, music, short stories, or joke writing, Mom. A+ joke gems on my debt comedy CD was this: don't grow on trees. But I understand your dated, limited perception of what an artist means because you don't have any artist friends yourself." Still, Joshua knew deep down real art sells, and until he secured a single sponsor for his performance arts-based, stand-up joke-heavy Doodle Dad Your podcast and started to make enviable bestseller sales from his debt comedy record Resist This, or from any of his past self-published books, Do It All Dad Does Jokes, or Controlling Your Kids with Comedy, a love story, in addition to scoring a publisher and agent to sling his future novel, The Great American Jew Novel, on the shelves of Barnes & Noble, for his 3 children to point up at and see, he would die another failed writer-artist who gave up on trying to become a monster, best-selling success again. But now Joshua was planning on hearing back on whether he got picked to be the new commercial spokesperson for their upcoming family-friendly Porsche SUV ad campaign. If he got chosen to be that person, he'd be just another glamorized, devilish, handsome marketer, not an actual artist. The money would help finance his art to write more books, though, and give him the freedom to travel the country and perform the stand-up comedy he wanted, his way, ensuring he wouldn't have to take the realtor exam and become a glamorized house schlepper just yet. Plus, Joshua also became a big believer in the power of choice and dreams to reconsider as your life's priorities change. He only pursued the path to stand-up comedy because some alum from Ithaca College who worked on Everyone Loves Raymond recommended he do stand-up if he wanted to write funny sitcoms and get into the WGA one day. But only got into writing TV spec scripts and pilots as an energizing, empowering, unique, fermenting form of escape from the thankless, non-builder task of cold-calling IT directors off a book a list of cue cards at 23, going on 40 at the time. One time, Joshua's daughter took a bite out of his homemade burrata bomb, roasted cherry tomato, fresh-cut basil specked, cornmeal dusted bottom pie and said, "Daddy, I know you really wanted to be a comedian, but can you be a pizza maker in heaven instead?" Now Joshua was thinking he didn't have to lose his comedic edge yet if he could make the Do It All Dad hero a monster roadshow success and create funny viral campaigns starring his favorite people in the universe, being his 3 star-powered kids, and get the best of both worlds by marrying himself a family, selling, creating, and dining like a divine-powered, chosen shishi bitch in the process. Joshua's mom was a high-ranking corporate lender banker for JP Morgan Chase, but Joshua couldn't pass the Series 7 if his chosen curls depended on it. His mom provided for her family in the only way she knew how, having to endure plenty of Gentile Jew-hating bankers trying to seduce her with their $10 banker haircuts along the way. But she did marry a funny man Jew, being Joshua's father, because he was different and made her laugh, the way Joshua always did without fail. Joshua's all-knowing 9-year-old Beshert agent daughter, singing Rose Matilda Kornblue, told her Dada over a bubble once, "Dada, it's not that Mimi doesn't think you're talented. She's just uncomfortable with your comedy." She worked as a loan officer for JP Morgan Chase, remember? Now, Papa did plenty of acid in college and sold so much weed there the Bank of Lake Forest almost underwent a private investigation into the source of those flush funds. Wasn't Papa also the only white Jewish boy who became an unofficial member of the House of Soul at Lake Forest College, Dada? Didn't you also tell me the time he introduced himself to Ali in his older years, saying he was the greatest, before Ali kissed him on the head? Papa just knows how obsessive and brooding you are about the comedy thing. Who never looked at Joan Rivers or Red Fox as revered figures in life to emulate? But I know you got to do what you got to do, Daddy. So become a best-selling artist of some kind already and start bringing home more than veggie bacon, all right? Remember when my 2nd grade teacher, Miss Farney, said you should be hosting your own kid show after your performance as our mystery reader? So I wouldn't give up on making your father-son dish review show starring Baby Samuel for Better Than Movie just yet. That would make a great follow-up book also. But Joshua could taste career world-expanding enrichment on the horizon through the successful launch of the Do It All Dad Hero kosher cheesesteak truck in the making. Charlie Parker got his start in Kansas City, was a major jazz artist who the French intellectual artist class sucked off long time before the emergence of Miles and Train. Kansas City, despite its flyover country rap, was one of the few cities who never enforced the rules of prohibition, and good barbecue was considered an art form by itself, brisket and ribs being the primo materials to coax never-ending scrumptious, heaven-on-earth flavor out of. The Kansas City Barbecue Championship for Best Brisket was for the taking. Becoming a best-selling writer-artist could be put on the back burner on low for now. No offense, Judy. Joshua longed for meteor conquest meals than veggie bacon BLTs this summer.